Hey guys, Fox here with another game commentary from the Season 4 Jungle. This game I'm playing as Jungle Diana. Now I wanted to show Jungle Diana because she's a jungler who's kind of weird, like not a lot of people play Jungle Diana. And she's actually really fun to play in my opinion. And as far as mage junglers go, like mages aren't very good in the jungle, but Diana is really an exception. So I wanted to show her off, and since the new Season 4 Jungle came out, Diana has got stronger in my opinion. Now for my runes and masteries, as always they're in the description, but my runes I'm attack speed reds. You want attack speed so you clear quickly and also so you proc your passive more often. And armor yellows, which is pretty standard. Then you can go either cooldown blues or magic resist blues or like a flat AP blues or AP per level blues. You can do a lot of stuff in your blues. And in my quints I have flat AP. For my masteries I am 2109 as well. Now the reason why Diana works really well as a mage is because she's not really a mage. She's more like a duelist or a farmer in my opinion. She has her passive, which means that every so often, you know, every few basic attacks you do extra AoE cleave as magic damage. And also her W is a shield, which is basically, shields in my opinion are a substitute for sustain. So for someone who doesn't have sustain, if you have shields, then it makes up for it. So Diana can clear really quickly without using a lot of mana, and she doesn't take too much damage either. And that's how I like to play Diana. I like to play her mostly as a farm jungler. So for this jungle route it was pretty straightforward. I just did blue buff, minicamp, red buff. And like I say, I'm just farming at the moment. Diana, very good at farming, very effective at doing so, doesn't take too much damage. But yeah, so I'm kind of not really looking around to be doing too much. I see that our mid lane has to go back, so I'm just going to farm up mid lane. Now this Swain is on really low health, but I can't get to him because I know that the enemy Shyvana is nearby. I also don't actually have my E, which is my mini Orianna ult, so I can't actually CC him. So when I hit level 4, I'm actually going to look to go on this guy, just flash on his face and kill him. So I hit level 4, I flash on him, and that's exactly what I do, and I get first blood for it. I knew his flash was down because he used it to try and kill Lee Sin, so I knew he was a free kill for me as soon as I had hit level 4. And I think he got a bit too greedy staying there, but he probably thought that I wasn't going to go for him, because if I was going to go for him I would have gone for him before. But either way, it was a bit too greedy, and so I get that kill. I go back and I buy a pretty standard buy. This is really what you get on your first back. This is ideally what you want to buy on a jungler. Your Spirit Stone, your tier 1 boots, 3 potions and a ward. It's really solid jungle items. And I'm just going to keep farming as well. Just farm my whole jungle. Diana's very good at clearing multi-target, like AoE clears, because of her passive and her shield. So she does really good with AoE. For my skill order, I always get 2 points in my shield. And then I max my Q. I get 2 points in my shield just because that is extra, you know, it's like I say, the extra sustain. So I don't really need to take any damage when I'm jungling. And here I was trying to help out my mid lane, but he kind of just died. So I thought, well, I'm just going to soak up this lane. This is what I do when I play jungle. I just, you know, farm everything. If someone's dead in a lane, then I go and soak up that lane. And Shyvana tries to fight me here as well, but she can't kill me because Diana is a very, very good duelist. And also, I leveled up to 6 as I was fighting her. So, that kind of turned the tides, turned the favour quite heavily for me. So yes, and I've got 2 kills as well, so I'm doing pretty well. I'm looking at my farm, I have pretty much one of the highest farms in the game. I'm looking to rush my Spirit of the Spectral Wraith. Now before on Diana, in Season 3, I really liked buying Doran's Ring at level 1, Doran's Ring and I believe 2 potions. Yeah, Doran's Ring, 2 potions. And then I would get 2 Doran's Rings and then rush a Zhonya's or a Nash's Tooth. But now you can't really, in my opinion, especially if you're playing a farm jungler, you can't get away with doing that. Now I'm going to slow this down as I try to engage onto this Swain. I actually missed my Q because I think Swain's going to... I thought Swain was going to keep chasing, so I wanted to Q onto a minion and then onto him. But Swain actually gets so close to me that there's no point me even jumping onto a minion. I may as well just jump onto him. So yeah, you'll see that happens a lot actually. I miss my Q when I go to engage ganks because I'm not patient enough with it. I just kind of rush it, which is really bad. I shouldn't be doing that. But like I was saying before, the reason why you can't just start with Doran's Rings anymore is because of the bank passive, the gold passives that come off the big jungle items. And this is actually something I don't really like too much. I don't like the fact that you have to build these big jungle items now. You can't just get these Doran's Rings, because if you do get these Doran's Rings, then you're going to be without gold. This is a pretty standard gank as well. Now this is the power of Diana. You hit your Q on someone, you jump on them, and then they're in a lot of trouble basically. Which is just what I did. It was pretty straightforward gank that. If you know that you can get a gank off, or you may as well try it. And Diana's also very good at taking down towers because she does this. Her passive works on towers, so it does even more damage. And this is kind of bad by me as well, where we go for the tower dive. But Swain goes for the rotate, and so we actually both just die, which is really bad. We should have killed Nasus, tried to get some damage off from the tower, and then just kind of backed off and not really got greedy. So that was our mistake there. But yeah, before I get rudely interrupted by things happening in the game, you have to buy the Spirit of the Spectral Wraith now, because if you don't, you're going to lose gold, and if you're a farm jungler, you really get a lot of use out of these Spectral Wraith passives. But Spectral Wraith is really nice to know anyway, really. But anyway, I see Swain's pretty far pushed up here, so I'll just engage onto him, just do some damage to him, kick him around a bit. But Lee Sin gets a really nice kick as well with his ward, kicks him back into us. So we get another kill on him, which is good, because Lee Sin is struggling, so the more I can help him, the better. And Lee Sin is one of those champions who, at a certain point, will get strong enough that he can actually just... This is actually really good. I'm going to rewind this. At a certain point, Lee Sin can just win his lane, regardless of how badly he's losing. So we want to try and tower dive this Shyvana. I made it pretty clear I want to do that. So I ward right here by the Wraith, so I know if anyone's rotating, we'll see them. And we're looking for the engage here. I want us to tank the tower first, because Lee Sin's so low. And as soon as I predict that Shyvana is going to use her dragon, I'm thinking, this would probably be a good time for Shyvana to use her dragon. As soon as she does it, I use my E. And because I used my E, it interrupted her dragon. So she turned into a dragon, but she didn't go anywhere, which means she was standing on the spot, and she was a free kill for us, which is really nice. I mean, part of that is luck, obviously, because I'm not Korean, so I don't have the reactions to do that instantly. I'm not Mad Life. But at the same time, it was kind of predictions as to, well, this would be a good time to use her dragon. So I kind of knew when it was coming to that extent, but still, you could argue it was a bit lucky as well. But yeah, so I bought my Spirit of the Spectral Wraith. This means that I don't have any sustain issues really anymore. So it's not great because I like to get more damage when I don't like to spend 2,000 gold to get 50 AP. I don't really think that's really that good. But Diana doesn't really need AP too much, so it's not too bad. And after this Spectral Wraith item, I like to get a Nash's Tooth. Now, the reason why Nash's Tooth is so good is because it gives you CDR, it gives you attack speed, and it gives you AP. It gives you a bit of mana regen as well, which is quite nice, but yeah, it's a nice item in general. And right here, we just did a gank onto Swain. I've been camping the crap out of this Swain just because I know he's a pretty free kill for me. And I actually kind of get ganked by Anivia here, but I don't really know what's going on, so I just walk away. It's kind of surprising that she's even there, really. But yeah, we have a support Ashe this game. There's a support Anivia and a support Ashe, so that's kind of cool. You can kind of get away with lots of different supports actually with these new support items, so it's nice to see all the different kinds of supports. But yeah, the reason again why Nash's Tooth is so good, the attack speed is really nice because of her passive. You trigger your passive more, so she's a really good duelist. And also, yeah, you know, the AP, the CDR and stuff like that. It's just a really nice over item for Diana, especially jungle Diana, because you rely on your passive, your attacks to clear. And on lane Diana, you don't really need anything to increase your clear speed, so it's not too much. It's not as inviting, though it's still a good item. Unfortunately, we get a bit overzealous here, and Lee Sin dies when we try to dive. But it's okay, I guess. It's, you know, just a mistake. It's fine. We've camped the crap out of this Swain, so we've tried to bottle him up a little bit, and as such, he's only got 50 CS, so that's cool. But Nasus is getting pretty big, and he's going to be a bit of a problem. But I'm also very strong, so I'm looking to do quite a lot. I mean, you could look, like, I'm just going to pause this right here and just see, like, a lot of people who say, you know, Elo hell, I can't carry, all that stuff. I mean, look at my team right now. My top laner is 0-1, like, Katarina, in the Katarina versus Nasus lane, if Nasus isn't losing, then he's winning. But that's not really Katarina's fault, that's just the way Nasus is, and Nasus is actually really hard to beat in lane. But I'm not saying it's Katarina's fault, I'm just saying top laner is in the enemy team's favor right now, because Nasus is such a beast. Mid lane, obviously, this Lee Sin is doing pretty bad this game, and our bot lane is crushing, like, pretty hard. So the reason, like, it's just difficult with a top laner and a mid laner that aren't doing that. The enemy teams are stronger. This could be pretty difficult for us. But because I'm strong, that means I have a lot of influence in this game. And Caitlyn as well is a very good laner, so she's kind of meant to be doing well in lane as well. But it's nice that our Caitlyn's doing well. So that between me and Caitlyn now, I'm looking at this. I'm looking and seeing, okay, well, I'm recognizing who is strong on our team, and I'm just saying, right, so these are the components that we're going to use to win. There's no point, really, me using a weak component and trying to win that way, because it's not really going to work, because that component is weak. But if I use like, if I team up with Caitlyn, for example, then it becomes a lot easier. Now, I managed to get away from this somehow. I don't know how, but I get away and Lee Sin dies, so he dies for my sins, so that's cool. But now that I've recalled, I'm probably going to buy either a Zhonya's or a Deathfire Grass. Both those items are really, really good on Diana. I actually prefer a Zhonya's. Oh, I didn't actually finish my Nash's. Okay, I had Stinger, not Nash's, sorry. So I finished my Nash's Tooth. Now I'm going to probably buy a Zhonya's. Zhonya's is very nice because basically you can become more of an engaged machine. And engaging on junglers is very good. Engaging in general is really good. If you can dictate when you're fighting, then you can carry a lot of games just by doing that. Just by picking the good fights. So that's why Ashe was actually a really good AD carry as well. Because what you could do is you just, you see a good opportunity to fight. And you just use your arrow and you force the fight. So it's having Diana can do that as well with her ulti and her E. It's really nice. And if you do that and you have a Zhonya's up, then you don't die either. So it's even better. But we take away Dragon here as well. Diana is extremely good at taking away drag just because she's, again, the basic attack stuff, her passive. It really all just revolves around her passive Diana jungle. It's really strong. So we take away that Dragon really easily. And now we're just pushing down mid. Like, we've got a kill. So we're looking to force our advantage. Like, we're all really strong anyway, especially me. I'm really strong at this stage. So I'm just thinking like, well, we're strong. Let's pressure them. Let's force things onto them. There's no point. If we're stronger than them, there's no point us backing away and just being, not taking advantage of our advantage. Like, there's no, that kind of sounds a bit stupid, but there's no point. If you're strong and you're not doing anything, then you're not going to win the game by doing that. And a lot of people who complain about not being able to carry teammates do just that. They'll say, oh, I go 10 for 0 every game, but my teammates suck, I can't win. A lot of the times, the people who are doing that, if you are that strong, then the onus is on you to carry that game. And in order to carry that game, you need to do good things yourself. Now, I see Tristana is kind of, she's not even really that far extended, especially considering everyone's around the Baron. But I go in on Tristana here, and she's trying to stop me, but I do so much damage. I've got blue buff and I'm max CDR as well because of my items. Nash's Tooth plus Spectral Wraith and blue buff. Way too much CDR. I just chase her down and kill her. And I see that this top lane, they were fighting around the dragon area, so I'm just going to try and mop things up. I actually try to kill this Nasus, but look at this bloody Nasus. Like, he doesn't die. Like, he refuses to die. I'm beating the crap out of him. I almost accidentally kill this Anivia, trying to kill, who was on full health, trying to kill a Nasus who was on like 30% health, just because he was so indestructible with his Spirit Visage and the, it was probably that, last wind or second wind or something, the defensive mastery. He had way too much regen, he just had a bit of MR, and he was just, I just couldn't kill him, and I suppose his Warden's Mail reduced my attack speed as well. I couldn't kill him, and I almost accidentally killed the guy standing next to him just because of my passive and my AoE damage. It was pretty funny, but yeah, I come up with that fight, unfortunately. So I probably shouldn't have gone there. You could have argued that it was bad for me to go bot in the first place. Should have gone bot and instead should have just been with my team. But I don't think it was necessarily too bad if I had then stayed bot and pushed it out. That's what I should have done. I should have stayed bot and pushed bot and not tried to roam and finish up and mop up the fight. But if you look at my farm as well, my farm is really high actually. It's one of the highest in the game. It's pretty equal to all of my laners. And that means that I'm really fed, basically, and I'm pretty fed because of my score too. And so this means, this is why you just farm all the time when you're playing as Jungle Diana. Like, I'm hovering over my Spectral Wraith, so I hover over my Spectral Wraith, and I have 440 bonus gold just from that in 22 minutes, which is not too bad. I mean, that's the amp tome I've got in my inventory is because of this Spectral Wraith item, so that's pretty good. But I'm just pushing down this tower now. I'm using my trinket ward here just to ward up for myself. I'm just going to keep trying to push this down, but I don't want to push it too hard. Like, I don't want to try my luck, because if I jump on that Tristana, which I really want to do, if I do that and then someone else shows up, I'll die. So I'm not going to risk that. So I was just kind of pushing. There's nothing really going, and I see they're coming round for me. So if they're coming for me, I'm thinking again, don't really want to stay. It's a bit risky, so I'm just going to head back and buy some items because I had enough items to buy my Deathfire Grass. Now this, in my opinion, is a mistake by me. I should have gone for Zhonya's, not a Deathfire. We don't really need more damage. We kind of need another tank. If you look at our team setup, we've got Lee Sin, who's not going tanky because he's our mid laner. I'm only going to rewind this engage as well. We've got our Lee Sin, who's a mid laner, so he's not going tanky. Katarina is not tanky. Our double 80 carry bot lane combo is not tanky. So I need to be a tank, basically. Or at least I don't need to have extra damage. I should have gone for Zhonya's. But this is what you kind of want to do when you're engaging on Diana. So right here, my whole team is nearby. And I'm thinking, we have this ward here, so it's a fairly decent vision. They kind of go hard trying to get this Ashe. I'm just going to pause it. Everyone is pretty much grouped up here. Like, if I landed a Q on the Shyvana and used my E, I'd get all of them in it. So we'll see what happens. I'll just slow it down and we'll see it. Lee Sin jumps in. I jump in as well. So we insta-kill. We instantly kill the AD carry. And then I kill Anivia as well. And just because of that engage. However, I don't have my Zhonya's now. So running away from this, it's probably not going to work out. I do try to run as far as I can just to buy some time for my team. I try to use my Q so I can then jump onto the race and survive, but that's not going to happen either because the race are actually dead. But yeah, so that was a really good engage for us, but we couldn't then make anything else out of it, which is, you know, pretty sad actually. And yeah, so that doesn't go too well for us. And the problem is as well, like looking at these items, Shyvana's items, Spirit of the Old Lizard and Triforce. So when I look at Shyvana, I kind of just think, well, Shyvana is pretty, you know, she's really strong and she's always a nuisance, but we can ignore her to focus down the more important targets. But looking at her items, I should have recognized, actually, she's going Glass Cannon, so I can't just ignore her. We need to focus her down. She has so much damage that we may as well just try and kill her. So that's what we should have done. But here we kind of play saving Private Ash, but we don't actually, well, actually we save Ash, but we can't then save Katarina. But I'm getting a bit greedy seeing if I can kill this Anivia because my whole team's around. I don't really want to get too involved in things because I'm pretty low on health. But also, if there's no threat nearby, then I may as well get involved. Like, I can, you know, if the Shyvana went chasing Ash, which means that I didn't need to, which meant I could get back in there. And so now this Shyvana's around. Again, she was on pretty much full health. And so you know, we could have been a bit scared of her, but because she's built this glass cannon, we just turned around and we focused her and she died. Like, if she was tanky there, yes, she would have had less damage, but she didn't really need damage because we were all on such low health that it was just, you know, it wasn't a matter of how much damage she did to us, it was just a matter of if she did damage to us, basically. So if she were tankier, she would be able to probably kill us. And in which case, I would have, you know, we would have just ran away, or I'd have asked my team to run away. But in that case, it worked out pretty well because she was so tanky that we had enough damage that we knew we could just blow them up. And this is what I did. Like, if you look at the scores now, I'm going to pause a little bit here. I camped the crap out of this mid lane. And even though Swain is still strong, Lee Sin is really strong as well. Like 12-7-5. He's really picked it up now. And if Lee Sin got crushed in lane and then couldn't do anything, he would be pretty much useless now. Because whenever you've got one of those like AD casters or assassins, and they're underfed, underfarmed, and they're, you know, they just become useless. So if you can snowball those people, then that's really nice. So I decided to snowball mid, and mid is now doing really well. But what I was saying as well about, there's another fight going on here, but I get crushed, but it's worth it because I just absorb so much attention from people. This is kind of what I might as well rewind this actually. This is kind of what you want to be doing when you're playing a jungler, in fights anyway. You absorb attention, you get people to jump onto you, and then you die, but your team mops up. And I'm fine, like completely fine with that. Even though I'm playing Diana, so he isn't really, you know, I could be more of a carry. I'm completely fine with this, and this is actually how I like to play fights. But I also want to say here as well, this Caitlyn had double the CS of Tristana in lane, and was really strong. So this Caitlyn, if this Caitlyn lost this game, would say things like, oh, you know, I can't win, Elo hell, you know, I can't carry, all that stuff. However, even though she was so strong, what I was saying earlier, like, she hasn't really used her advantage. Like, the fact that she's not really, like, if she didn't transition her fedness, so to speak, it's not a word, but I'm making it a word. If she transitioned her fedness into the mid game and late game and into the team fights, then she would be, you know, she would be carrying a lot harder, but she hasn't really done that too well this game. You know, I'm not hating on her or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, this is something you need to recognize. Like, if you are fed in your lane, you come out your lane and don't necessarily play too well, you don't deserve to win that game necessarily. I mean, she doesn't. I'm not saying this Caitlyn's trash and deserves to lose by any means, but if you're going to complain about Elo hell, I don't really think that you have a relevant argument in this kind of situation. So I'm just going to play now so we get into the team fight here. So we'll see what I do. Let's see. So I'm going to slow it down a teeny bit. Right, so I see Swain, and so I just instantly jump onto him. My team isn't that close, but I'm just like, fuck it, I'm going on him. I use my Death Fire Grasp, actually a bit too late here. But I keep jumping in on him, just doing loads of damage. And then, because I am zoning the AP carry, who is really strong as well. And Shyvana's beating the crap out of me. Did I even use my... Okay, I don't have Zhonya's. But again, this is probably when I should have had Zhonya's, because if I did have it, I might have survived here. If I had Zon used while Swain was Zon using, is that a word? That's not a word, but I'm making that up as well. If I had used my Zon as Swain used his Zon then I could have come out of it when he came out of it and just beat the crap out of him again, rather than standing around with my finger up my ass while Shyvana beat the crap out of me. But yeah, so I zoned Shyvana and Swain, who are arguably the two strongest members of their team. And with Lee Sin, we take her down, and so that's worth it. And then the rest of my team just mops up easy peasy, so that's good. The rest of my team are probably not as strong as me and Lee Sin are, so the fact that we give them the easy job is pretty much perfect. And that's, in my opinion, that is like a textbook jungle fight just there. You just jump on the strong people, don't even necessarily win the fight. You just jump on their face, and you distract them, and your team wins. And so this game looks like it's about to be over, although for some reason, the replay says there's 3 minutes left, so something happens here. I don't know what it is. Okay. I think people tried to fountain dive or something, and so now this game's going to last longer. So I'm just going to skip this through quite a lot, because I'm not too... I don't really want to watch this. I'm still, even though Shyvana's really strong, I can still 1v1 her quite well, just because I'm also really strong. I think she doesn't really appreciate how strong I am, the Shyvana, so when she jumps at me, as long as she's not got any allies nearby, I can probably 1v1 her if I hit my Q on her and get a double ult off, especially when I've got my Deathfire Grasp up. But anyway, so I should be going back and buying Azonius here. Yep, that's exactly what I do. And now I probably shouldn't die. Like, in team fights, I'll probably... Well, we'll see what happens, but I should stand a much better chance of dying. The reason why Azonius is really good on casters, not only does it make you invulnerable for a few seconds, but it's so... during those few seconds, your cooldowns come back up, so you can fight better. So right here, I'm just jumping in on the carry. I'm just getting right involved in everything. I jump into everyone. I'm just standing in the middle of everyone, just taking a huge beating as well. That may not necessarily, though, have been the greatest decision, but it wasn't too bad, I don't think, either. I mean, the fact that our team's mopping up is fine, but it's... Yeah, so I just jumped into the middle of everyone, and the thing is, if I jump into the middle, then everyone's going to start focusing me because I'm Diana. If I was someone like Jarvan, then if I jumped into the middle, then they will probably just leave me alone and be like, yeah, fuck that. Like, it's only Jarvan, I'm just running away. But because I was Diana, they kind of had to focus me, which is really good. So it meant that the rest of my team, again, could do pretty sexy stuff while I was just fighting them. Unfortunately, I flashed away, tried to survive, but I couldn't survive. But again, I died because Swain used his W on me. And if he's using his W on me, he's not using it on anyone else. So that's kind of... It's good. Like, all these things are just good. I'm not just talking out my ass because I'm dying and I'm trying to make it look good. I mean, it's not, it's not like faker level plays, but it's pretty basic plays. I mean, these things are fine. Like, dying's not necessarily bad as long as it's, like a tool to get the rest of your team to victory. It's fine if you die along the way, as long as, the ends justify the means, basically. Anyway, so that was my jungle Diana commentary, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Diana, like I say, is a really fun jungler to play, so I suggest you play her because she is pretty entertaining and you can have a lot of fun playing her. But, yeah, thanks for watching. As always, you can find me on my social media, my Twitter and my Facebook. And you can catch me streaming, which is twitch.tv/foxshop. All the links that I've mentioned are going to be in the description, so you can just check that out there. But thanks very much for watching, guys. And I'll see you in my next video.